Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. First of all, thank you CrashVettel for following. There you go, have your alert. We're just now loading in to the game. It's the DMR feeder series, this time in Austria, round 4. As usual, short qualifying, 50% race. Looking forward to seeing these guys fight it out on track once again. Seems like everybody is loading in very nicely. Perfect. So let's then have a look at the track already. And here we are. Without sound once again, which is great. Let me fix that once again. It's always the same, and I don't know why it won't work. Alright, and alright. That should have done the trick. There we go. You've got sound now. As we've got the first guys going out onto the track, it's the Williams of Chanza. The only Williams on the grid today as far as I can see. And then we just have a look at these guys. Quite busy track already, everybody coming out. Apart from a few other drivers. The 5 guys are still in the pits. Everybody else is out. Jansa, as I said, the first guy to be out. Behind we've got TwoFiftySix. Now he's a bit further behind. CrashVettel is behind Jansa there. We've probably got like Flat Red is still in the garage. Milan is out there as well. The Weasel in P10 for now. Of course, no time set yet. As Jansa crosses the start-finish line for his first flyer. Let's onboard with him. Very nice through turn 1. Coming up the second DRS straight then. And up here, turn 2, turn 3, however you want to call it. I think officially it's turn 3. Very hard to get the traction down. That seemed to be pretty nice there. Welcome, Michael. Have a nice morning then to Florida. Welcome to the stream. We've got Jansa on the first flyer there. We had a little yellow sector there in yellow flag in sector 2. I guess that was just for people letting others by. Now I'm really stoked to see the first few laps coming in. Jansa now 106.2. Now CrashVettel 104.9. One of the Renaults being invalidated or just now starting. Yeah, that was Shriver invalidated. Fraser is still out. We've got Milan now in P1 provisional pole with only 4 people setting a lap till now. Very close up top there. As we've got more people setting lap times. We've got no builds. P4 Bondrax just being demoted down to P6, beaten by his teammate John in P5. Now then we've got Fraser coming through next. There we go, he sets a lap time. That is extremely close up top. Look at that. 104.944 for Milan. 0.946 for Fraser. 2,000s. And then 200s behind. It's CrashVettel. That's mega close up top there. We've got a little bit of a gap to the Weasel, No Build, and John. All about the same pace there as well as Bondrax. Tush now set a lap as well. 3/10ths behind the other guys then. And John's probably looking to improve his times. Lion Thomas Jensen. These are not representative times Jensen is actually out on another lap. At this second. Fastest sector 1. Not shifting up to 8th here on that third DRS straight. So 3 DRS straights here. Of course, that finish straight. Then the second one after turn 1. And then up on top of the hill. Coming into sector 2. Now then, coming around. Will he set this lap? Yes, it looks like it. He was a bit off track there and he invalidates the lap. As you can see on the map there, it's all red. It would have been a 105.6. Not the fastest lap for him. We saw a pretty strong performance out last time for him. In Singapore, that was. Bondrax is still out. Looking to improve his lap. That's gonna be a 105.2. Nice effort there, bringing the gap just a little bit closer between the top 3 and the rest of the field. As all the guys coming out for another outlap. You could easily do 4 laps in this qualifying session. Of course, 18 minutes. A lap is about a minute. So if you go for that aggressive tire strategy, or even if you try to qualify on the mediums, as Thomas Jensen's first attempt, or first 2 attempts were. What is going on up on top of that hill? I think that was... Yeah, there is Bomba and I guess Flat Red behind. Nope, guessed wrong. That is Milan behind. Hopefully Bomba didn't get held up there. Sees right now the guy on a fast lap now coming through into sector 3. Just these 2 very fast right-handers here. Second one can be quite tricky there with that sausage curb there. You don't want to cut too much of it. You don't really run the risk of invalidating your lap, but much rather of just throwing the car into the wall. At least unsettling the car so much that you, well, have no hope in setting a faster lap. Bomba with that lap in P10 there. Anybody out? Of course, CrashVettel is trying to improve. Gets an invalidated lap time though. Milan is now on a fast lap. He gets a little bit held up by Bomba, doesn't he? But his lap is invalidated anyways as well. That's very interesting stuff there. And then here we've got Fraser. Remember 2000s behind Milan there, who just invalidates his lap. Fraser now starting his lap. Coming through nicely on turn 1. The exit can be quite tricky, as I think there's a Ferrari somehow in the pits. I wanted to go into the pits, had a little nightmare there going onto the grass. That's at least how it looked like. And we've got Fraser now. Into the twists and turns of sector 2. Thomas Jensen in front. Won't hold him off. We've got Flat Red now. Provisional pole position. The teammate of Milan there. About 2/10 faster. But I already saw Fraser was improving by 1/10. Setting a purple sector 2 as well after he set the purple sector 1. Now only these 2 fast right-handers don't cut too much. That looked very clean there. What's it gonna be? Will it be provisional pole position? Yes, it will be, and by another 3/10 to Flat Red. Now the gaps are really opening up there from P1, 2 and 3, as CrashVettel now just puts his car in front Flat Red. So he went out on these softs and drove a few more laps on this stint. Milan coming back into the pits, not opting to go out for another lap. John in P5 right now. I think we've got Bondrax on some fresh tires, trying to set it up. Haven't quite seen the Sector 1 split there, so we'll have to be a little bit patient until Sector 2 split comes up. Down the hill now into Sector 2. Very tricky to left-handers if you don't have the racing line on. The braking and the turn-in point is very tricky to get out here. To get right here. Excuse me. Completely out of practice here. Right. Just don't mess up Sector 3 here. Going off track a little bit. Seems to still be valid. It's a 105.1. Firmly into the top 10 there. Just behind his teammate John. Very close battle between these two guys. Is he actually continuing on to another lap? He doesn't seem to be lifting off there. So maybe he's got the feeling, he's got the flow right there. Just to continue on. But that's 3/10 slower. So I guess not. We've got Big Summer blowout in the McLaren. I haven't seen him before. Down 3,000s on his time, he said. Just a few laps earlier. We're now down the hill into a very tricky turn 4. Shifting up pretty rapidly. Going down to get the turn in seemed to be a little bit slow just from a visual standpoint, but he actually gets a purple Sector 2. So it couldn't have been too slow then. Maybe he set up his car just for downforce and is compromising a little bit on the straights there. We will just see when he comes through what time this is gonna be. It's gonna be a 104, not quite, it's gonna be a 105.2 still, improved by almost half a second, 4/10. Nice effort, puts him in front of his teammate there. Tom Burmans. We haven't seen him. Except for a little moment that he had on the pit entry. But he sets the lap time good for P12. He's absolutely looking to improve on that. After a decent performance in Singapore there. John's here causing that yellow flag, just waiting up for some people. Thomas Jensen coming up on the Sector 2 split there after the first left-hander and invalidates his lap time briefly after setting the fastest Sector 2. So that for now leaves him only in P14. Is he gonna go in for some more tires? No, he's just continuing on. Don't go out too far, you don't wanna invalidate your next lap time. It would have been a 104.5, which would have been P2, but would have, could have. He invalidated his time, so that just doesn't count. Apart from that, Flatred and Milan just now starting a lap. I think Milan either improved very slightly or not at all, as he just crossed the line. Flatred then just behind Thomas Jensen on a lap. Just continuing to spectate Thomas here. That just looks pretty slow. Yeah, that certainly looks very slow. It's sometimes hard to judge. Here we've got Flatred. A lot more pace through that Sector 2 there. Setting the purple Sector 2. So one after the other. One driver after another sets faster Sector 2. Thomas giving his rival a little bit of a slipstream there maybe. I would have tucked in there if I was in the place of Flatred for sure. And that's gonna be a low... No, it's gonna be a high 104. Oh, improved by 7,000ths of a second. That won't separate him too much more from his teammate. Still in front though. CrashVettel and Tush both on a fast lap here. I'm not sure if that's quite as beneficial for CrashVettel. Yes, it is, as Tush actually gives him the slipstream then. It looked very close in that turn 2 up on the hill there. I hope that CrashVettel can improve, and he does. 1.5 tenths. It wouldn't be quite enough for P1 there, beating FraserHem's time. He cuts lots of that corner there. No penalty, just takes a little bit of that sausage curb. Is it gonna be enough for an improvement? Certainly not enough to catch FraserHem on top, but it was enough to go for a P2, improve his time, put a little more distance between himself and both Sauber's Alfa Romeos. Bomba just off track there. I think we haven't spectated the Weasel. The Weasel showed some very astonishing performances in the last 2 races that I've spectated. Very strong on the pace usually. So let's have a look at him. Already through Sector 1, just, wow, 500ths faster. Not much to gain there. Up on the hill there. Just braking under that Rolex sign there. Going down to gear number 3. Short shifting to 4th to get a nice exit there. Taking much off that outside curb there. Swooping back to the inside. Staying on that outside curb to take as much off the track as possible there. Looking very good for the Weasel here. Just looking at the lap. Very clean, very smooth driving from him. Just a little bit outside there, but that's alright. And he improves just 1 position there. 2.5 tenths. P6. Bondrax in the meantime splitting the Alfa Romeos. Laya putting his car in P5. He came from a long way back. I think I just saw Shriver here setting a purple Sector 1, so maybe it's worth having a look at the Renault driver, teammate of Fraser of course. Milan is just a little bit behind on setting his time. Very fast driver as well. We'll surely have a look at him after Shriver sets his time. Not sure if he gets held up by Tush there. Not really, but that will surely compromise him now. Yep, that's the lap gone there, unfortunately for Shriver. It looked very nice there. And Tush continuing on, so he wasn't on a slow lap there. Well, he was on a slow lap compared to Shriver there. But as we just saw, Milan improve to a 104.6. It's getting very close up top again. We have a look at Fraser. Just a 10th in front of CrashVettel. And then from CrashVettel, Thomas Jensen setting now finally the lap into P3. Very nicely done. Haven't even caught him on camera there. But that's where we expect him to be. Very close to CrashVettel there. Milan, that was probably his last attempt there. Blood red out on a fast lap. Contender for pole position for sure. And that was a pretty big crash there. There must have been a collision between Laya and Tush, as Laya gets the 5th-place grid penalty. I really don't like to see them, because even for the slightest of touches, you get a 5-place grid penalty here, as Laya retires. Of course, no way on improving like that then. Our time's over anyways. Flat red now coming through then. Is he gonna be able to improve? No, actually not. And the last guy to be out, apart from Tush on pretty old tires, is FraserHem here. Is probably safe on that pole position. Still he's pushing, but not improving on his last lap. And he doesn't need to anyways. I think this is done and dusted for him. This is gonna be a pole position for the Renault driver here. As he knows it, he goes back to the pits. Tush without, well, any fuel in his tanks anymore. Coming over the start finish line. Fraser opting to pit. And that is a hectic qualifying done. Looking very close up top there. Half the grid setting, or more than half the grid setting, their lap times in the 104s. So mega competitive there. Very fast drivers indeed. I think Schreiber probably one of the biggest losers here. He's usually pretty quick, but this time only down in, what was that, P10? They are literally playing ping pong. Is this racing up ping pong? Stop bullying that Williams there. Oh my god. So yeah, now we have the qualifying result, and as you can see, very close indeed. I mean, the top 10 in just half a second. I mean, yeah, it's a pretty small and short track, but still half a second for online racing in the top 10. That is quite a feat there. Very nice. So this is gonna be, that's gonna be a bombastic race there. It's gonna be explosive for sure. So let's see, once we're loading in, hopefully no issues there. Hopefully everybody's having a good connection today. Yeah, what to say about that? We're probably gonna see Schreiber making up some positions. He's normally quicker than that. And I think I see one or two new names there. Maybe joined during qualifying. Dane down in the bottom there, loading in as the last, or yeah, as the last name there. And it seems like everybody's loading in fine. That's very nice. You never know with Codemasters, and here we go just for the formation lap, right? Nope, actually no formation lap. It's 5 lights. Lights are out. We go, go, go. And we just instantly see one. Oh my god, look at that Haas in the rear there. Okay, this was very sudden. I didn't know that we were going straight to the race there, but CrashVettel made his way past Fraser there. Fraser fighting back, squeezing him to the apex. Has to watch out he doesn't get squeezed out there. We've got a yellow flag here. And Fraser and Vettel still fighting. I think there's been a tiny touch there. And that is Fraser still in front. Very nice there. Let's just have a quick look here through the grid what has changed. I did not have any time to set up. So that's pretty unfortunate. But here we go. The grid was away nicely. Yeah, Schreiber. He picked up some positions there. Lots and lots of positions as we catch the Alfa Romeo outside there. Milan made his way past Flood Red probably. No, can't be. He must have qualified in front. Now I'm a little bit confused there. Just behind you can see a nice battle between the Weasel Tombermans and the McLaren of Big Summer Blowout. And I think there's been a crash between the Weasel and Big Summer Blowout as both cars have been in the wall. Both missing a little bit of their front wing, and we've got a virtual safety car, which as usual gives us an opportunity to have a look at the race start. Here we go. Just have a look at that Haas from behind there. The Renault and the Haas getting past that. I think that was... It couldn't have been a Renault, was it? Well, that was the race start here. There you can see FraserHem and CrashVettel really battling as Fraser keeps his car in front after turn 6 there. Let's go back. There's a live view. In front it's the safety car restart. FraserHem gets away good through turn 1. Oh, gets away well. Is Milan going to have a look with the double slipstream there on CrashVettel and FraserHem? He's gonna dive it to the outside. He tries it. That was a slight bit of contact there. Nothing major though. And we've got Driver spinning it. Right here. On turn 2 there. Puts him to the back of the field. Apart from the Weasel and Big Summer Blowout, as both drivers have been in the pits, obviously. Milan and CrashVettel being very close together still. All the way behind, we've got a bunch of guys battling. We've got just a pretty close battle here. Starting from John, Bomba, Tranza and Tush. These 4 guys are battling. And we've got a little bit of a gap between Noble, Tombermans, Dane the Dangerous. And I've got Thomas opting to pit. Lyra P6, Bondrex P5, Flood Red, and all the way in front we've still got FraserHem and CrashVettel fighting there, as we have a Big Summer Blowout. I think that's in the wall again, but let's just concentrate on the fight in front here. FraserHem and CrashVettel into turn 2, very tight, and this reminds me somewhat of the battle between Verstappen and Leclerc in real life there. With CrashVettel getting pushed out a little bit. I don't think there's been any contact like there was in real life. But respectful driving going on, as we've got John and Tombermans here fighting. Is Tombermans gonna go for the switchback? Yes, he is, and he stays in front. Nice work there from Tombermans. Go a bit further to the front. Let's still have a look at the fight for P1 here. CrashVettel being a little bit slidey there, it looked like. Of course, TRS has been activated now. It's gonna be lots of battles down the field, but of course we wanna have a look at what Milan, CrashVettel and Fraser are gonna be doing. The Mercedes of Dane the Dangerous. Setting a fastest lap there. Nothing crazy. Oh yes, there is a little bit crazy stuff there. CrashVettel crashing into the rear of Fraser almost sends him spinning there. Compromised his exit for sure. Has to lift off. Going to the outside here of Fraser then. Fraser braking a little bit later and taking more speed through the inside line. Thomas Jensen has retired. No, has disconnected, I think. Has lost connection. He hopefully can rejoin in just a second. And there we go. Very close starting phase of the Grand Prix here. CrashVettel with some contact on Fraser on top of the hill. There's turn 2, turn 3. Sorry, I'm gonna call it turn 3. Coming now through turn 1 here. CrashVettel's gonna get the DRS once again. Milan now a little bit further behind. Still looking good though. Coming up to turn 3 there. Again, side by side there, no contact this time. Fraser getting a pretty nice exit. Still, of course, DRS once again on board with CrashVettel. Is he gonna dive it to the inside? He gets a little bit closer whilst braking, but it's obviously not enough to make a move. So behind we've still got this battle between these 4 guys. Flood Red, Liar, Dane the Dangerous and Bondrax touching Dane the Dangerous just a little bit there. I'm just gonna call him Dane. It's gonna get a little bit long if I do this every single time. And there you see Dane going off track just a little. Gets a very good run. Still on Liar there. Coming through. Has there been tiny amounts of contacts? There surely is. And this, oh, I think both cars are just interlocked. That puts Dane into the wall. I think this is just the usual stuff that we see in this game. You could think that these cars have duct tape, double-sided duct tape on their cars or on their sides, that they just stick to each other if they touch the slightest amount. As nice as this battle there is, Shriver just got the move past Tombermans, but Tush being the torpedo, at least he's in the right car to be a torpedo, pushes Tombermans off there. You could just see it as Milan goes for the move inside of CrashVettel, gets it very wrong though, loses his rear end. And that puts some distance between these guys once again. And as I said earlier, this race is gonna be a bomb. I mean, look at this. It's Milan, CrashVettel and Fraser. I mean, this is again... Well, this is again Codemaster. Fraser bugging behind CrashVettel. CrashVettel now in front with the DRS. Excuse me. And Milan goes for the mother of all dive bombs there on both cars. Gets it done, at least on CrashVettel there, which puts Fraser back in P1 again. Milan is still on the outside. Can he brake later? No, he doesn't. Will he stick his car to the inside then on the exit? Nope, he will not. And now with that little bit of lag and that dive bomb of Milan, puts CrashVettel into P3 and Milan into P2 with Fraser still in the lead of the race. Maybe a little bit lucky there after that lag there. I'm sorry, I'm only spectating these guys. For now there's not much battling going on anywhere else except for Tombermans and Tush. We can have a quick look at right now as they are fighting as we speak there. Tombermans sending it to the inside through the last turn, getting the DRS though. And this will give the DRS to Tush though. On the long back straight, and here we see Milan and Fraser fighting again. Because we want to have a look at the guys in front here. As I said earlier, you really could throw a blanket over them. Please, it's gonna be in just a week's time. Well, at this time, in a week, we will have seen the first race of F1 2020 in real life finally kicking off. And if that's gonna be as close as this is, then it's gonna be a special race after being starved of real life racing for, well, 8 months, 9 months. Seeing this racing is surely amazing. And even if real life can't deliver this, that's why we're here. Look at this. It's really incredible stuff. These three guys being able to just fight this close together. Amazing performance. And the best part is they've all been pretty clean there. There's been little touches, little nudges there between CrashVettel, FraserHem, but this is just what you expect in the game, of course. I think everybody is still on their starting tires, on these softs. They usually hold up for a pretty long time, but we're surely at the point where we would expect some pit stops. Who's gonna be the first to trigger it? It's gonna be Milan. As if I could have read his mind there. Going into the pit lane there. Sticks it on the limiter. Where's he gonna come out though? Looks like that's gonna be around P11, P12. And that's, if he's lucky, he's gonna be between Bomba and Tush there. But I think, they will be passed anyways there. Although, he will probably even come out in front of Tombermans there. Very close there, but that is crucial for Milan. Look at him, he's in clean air, nobody in front of him. As in the meantime, CrashVettel must have made a move there. I'm sorry that I've missed that one. And Fraser now trying to come back at him. Not gonna work. There's great battling behind as well. We don't want to forget these guys, of course. Dane the Dangerous on Flood Red there. Blood Red seemingly not living up to his qualifying performance for right now. Dane getting his car past and Vlad going into the pits. The front runners also CrashVettel there in the pits. That puts FraserHem into P1 again. But of course the undercut is pretty strong here, and we will be seeing this with Milan here. He's already past CrashVettel. He's coming out in front. Or is he? How close is it gonna be? Reasonably close. It's still about a second's gap between both of these guys. But look at the gaps then. FraserHem in the lead of the race. CrashVettel only 16 laps behind. 16 laps. Wow. What is going on? 16 seconds behind. A pit stop is about 20 to 22 seconds. So that will put FraserHem firmly into P5 then again. So behind CrashVettel and Milan for sure when he opts to pits. Also interesting, Milan is on the mediums. CrashVettel not really trusting that strategy there. Going on to the hot tires. They are just a little bit slower there. But maybe he'll have the last laugh then at the end of the race when Milan's tires completely wear off. But in all the other racing series he's racing in, I've got the pleasure of spectating and commentating. He's always been quite alright with his tires, as we see now. John and Bondrax fighting for position on track after both drivers made their pit stop. Also with a different strategy, Bondrax on the hot tires, John's on the mediums. And actually Bondrax gets the traction and is in front of John there, locks up just slightly. But still in front there. Meanwhile, Fraser is continuing on just for his fourth lap then? For his third lap after Milan and CrashVettel pit. Where you can see how much they are catching him as Dane goes into the pits. But this is now Milan and CrashVettel already back up into P2 and P3. Only 13-14 seconds between them and the leading cars. Or the leading car. And this is mega close back here, as you can see. This queue, Blood Red, is firmly in there as well. And you can see on top there, Laya going for a move on the outside of Dane the Dangerous there. But losing his rear end. It's not looking pretty for him. Dane looking to make a move on Bomba there. Bomba trying to come back with the late braking action. Goes a little bit deep though. And that's Dane firmly in front there. Look at both of the Force Indias going side by side. John, what a brilliant move. Goes outside the track just a little bit. Both Haas now fighting there. Bomba and Laya. And John right in the middle of it. That's a Haas sandwich. And he's in front. And another sandwich there. But there's been contact. Bondrax has been squeezed out by both of the Haases. Let's see if he has some front wing damage there. Flat red now. Getting very close to the Haas of Bomba, who cuts the track, loses his rear end as well over that sausage curb. All drivers going up the hill there. Is Bomba gonna go back on flat? No, definitely not. There's been a little shunt there from Bondrax, I think. Certainly looked like that. And look at how much the undercut or extending the strategy has cost Fraser right here. He's right in front there. 5.5 seconds behind CrashVettel. Sorry, 4.5 seconds behind CrashVettel. This has really cost him. But therefore he is now on fresh mediums. Sorry for that. Fresh mediums. 4 laps younger than Milan's, the race leaders are. CrashVettel on his hard, still holding on. Still in that second window. So he's getting the DRS there. So if he can keep in the DRS of Milan there, he might not get attacked that quickly by FraserHem on these new mediums. And here we've got John, Liar and Floodred being pretty close to each other. Floodred probably looking to make a move in a few laps time and a few corners time even. But meanwhile, I think I have another replay prepared here. That was coming up the hill between Milan and CrashVettel and FraserHem. I think this is now the moment when Fraser, just lags behind CrashVettel. Milan positions his car on the inside and then goes for the mother of all overtakes. Incredible stuff there. FraserHem still getting a better exit there. Of course, if you go so deep into a corner, you're always open for the switchback. And there Fraser kept it in front. What a battle there. In the meanwhile, John and Liar have fought brilliantly. And Liar is in front. Also, FraserHem, it's not looking too good for him now. Dane made his way past, so Dane must have joined between qualifying and the race. He has not qualified again. Yeah, not qualified. He's in P3. So he's not only dangerous, he's also pretty fast. Fraser will have the DRS coming out of turn 1 there. It's probably not gonna be close enough to go for a move there. It's got a bit more speed, but it's not enough. John now came back on Liar in the DRS zone, so just a normal DRS overtake. Got it done before the braking zone even. Fraser now on Dane again. Dane still on the inside. Both drivers racing extremely fairly and respectful. Fraser back up to P3. But this fighting won't help him catch up on CrashVettel, or will it? CrashVettel has meanwhile fallen out of the DRS of Milan. He's 1.5 seconds behind, at times even 2 seconds. FraserHem only 3 seconds behind CrashVettel then. Or 2.5 seconds after that corner. That's incredible there. So he's making up places even though he's fighting Dane in the Mercedes there. The fight going on between these two works teams, Mercedes and the Renault. The Weasel, welcome. I would have rather seen you fight, but I guess after that crash with Big Summer Blowout, that was a pretty big blow to your race, wasn't it? Sorry for that. Terrible joke there on your expense. Well, welcome to the chat anyways. Big Summer Blowout being disconnected as well. You've got John, Liar still fighting. Liar still pretty close to John there. Seems really like John and Liar are on the same pace there. Oh yeah, same with that formation lap. It was just everybody loading in. I saw some lights go on and I thought, oh well, that light sequence looks pretty strange for a formation lap. But I guess. And no, it was go. Alright. The settings seem to change every single time. That's just a little bit more enjoyment for us as Laya gets his car passed again. So John and Laya just for the last 5 laps fighting and fighting and fighting. No end to the action here. Exactly what we want to see. FraserHem is still, of course, defending from Dane here. Coming through Sector 2 here. And it seems like Blood Red is moving a little bit closer on this fight. It's always been kind of there. Now he makes up just a little bit time on the time up on the entry there. But loses so much on the exit. So Flood is driving really aggressively. As we've got fighting through turn 1 there. Dane, oh no, Dane the Dangerous and FraserHem just, as I said earlier, it's like glue, these cars. And now they're really rejoining the track pretty dangerously, and we've got a full-blown safety car here. That kind of rescues Fraser's race. Well as Dane's, so they don't fall back too much with the damage they sustained, so both drivers having some front wing damage there. Yeah, exactly, safety car should have stayed. I guess. Alright. Things are now how they are. They're actually ghosting on? Yeah. Big summer blower, they're still connected, right? But actually these guys are ghosting, yeah. Looks surely like it. So this is now the safety car. What's gonna happen here? We've got 15 laps still to go. Probably 13 laps after the safety car period has ended. Is anybody of the front runners gonna switch over? Yes, they are. CrashVettel surely be advised to do that. Throwing away his old hard tires, going for some new ones. What's he gonna put on? Yep, that's gonna be some mediums. Milan actually going on to soft tires for 15 laps of the race. So that is very interesting there. Yeah, many drivers going on to the softs. So everybody thinking they can hold on to 12 laps of abuse. I mean, Fraser has shown it in the beginning of the race. He held on to his tires for 12 laps. Of course, under the safety car, they won't be used too much. But it's remarkable, of course. So many guys are pitting that Milan and CrashVettel even keep their podium places, not even shuffled up. Pit crews making an equal good job. John up to P3 there, even after he pit, Flat Red there. In P4, Lyle in P5. Fraser now, it seems to be going only backwards for him after that little crash between him and Dane. But he looked very strong on these softs. Bondrax pitting for some new mediums. And all the other guys behind, except for Shriver, who was in the chat for just a second. My race is kinda saved. Thinking he can't make it on these softs. Of course, CrashVettel in a bunch of soft tire drivers there. He's gonna be attacked left, right and center. So best thing for him would be just, as he does it right now, trying to get the best exit he can whilst his tires are still fresh. Overtake Milan and then get away as fast as possible. Although that's not gonna be an easy task there. Get out of the DRS. And I really don't like to see what these drivers are doing right there. Going side by side during a safety car. If Milan wants to warm up his tires, he's easily crashing into CrashVettel and both drivers potentially getting a penalty. We all know Codemasters and the penalties. It's kind of bugged. CrashVettel setting a sign he wants to be number 1. Well, he isn't. Yeah, that is pretty... I would even say that's a little bit unsportsmanlike there. Just keep behind, it's a safety car period, there is no reason to go side by side. John behind them just thinking of his chances of winning this race. John definitely a very fast driver as well. Blood Red behind in P4. Of course, I'm calling all of these drivers very fast. I mean that for generally everybody in this lobby here. They all seem to be extremely fast. As the safety car is gonna come in this lap there. Could just see the announcement. CrashVettel and Milan just going side by side there. Really close there. And I don't think Milan's punching up the field enough to be accelerating, getting a clean exit out of turn 1. It's gonna slow him down probably. CrashVettel goes outside the track there. In the slipstream of Milan. Seems like everybody came through really cleanly. CrashVettel's just gonna, well, not really dive it to the outside. He's just gonna stay on the outside, trying to get a better exit, as he seemed to get one. Of course, on overtake mode, I assume both drivers are going to the inside. That leaves Milan with nowhere to go. John is through there as well, and that's probably one of the best scenarios there for John, as Milan is now under attack as well. And John in front, between John and CrashVettel. Nice fight going on, and that was not quite the double. Yes, it was actually the double overtake. John on CrashVettel, Liar on Milan there. Liar's been showing great pace here. Didn't expect it after a decent showing at Singapore. I don't remember him being very far in front. Yeah, he did a Verstappen, but for the second time we saw the Verstappen move, but without contact both times. Is it still bugged in this game that you can just overtake during safety car? I don't think so. It gives you the illegal overtake, but you can overtake, but then you have to give back the position in 15 seconds time. Here's FraserHem and Dane the Dangerous. So gonna be some shenanigans into turn 3 up on top of the hill. It seemed like it, yeah, Fraser braking a little bit later than Dane, making slight contact there. Schreiber getting back past Tombermans, or is he actually? Tombermans getting way better traction there out of the corner. Probably part of a nice switchback move there, as Tombermans just dives it on the inside there. Driver off track, gets the dirt on to his tires. Schranzer is not able to go for a move there. Front wing is looking alright for everybody. And I think it's not gonna be like Fraser's gonna be attacking Dane very soon. It's probably gonna be the other way around, that Dane's gonna be attacking Flat Red there. Oh man, that is really interesting, the Weasel. Thanks for letting me know, because I've never seen that happen to me. So thanks Bugmasters, as usual. As you can see, Dane the Dangerous now gaining time on Flat Red, going to the inside. Little bits of contact there. Flat Red keeps it on the road, so that wasn't quite the Verstappen move, even though there was some contact there. Is Flat Red gonna be able to get back on Dane? Nope. He cuts the track very much there. That certainly wouldn't have helped him there. And there we see CrashVettel kind of doing an awesome job for John. So John's probably gonna give out some beer to CrashVettel after the race there. CrashVettel is holding up everyone on his medium tires there, whilst John on his softs is just putting away from everybody. So this is just the best case maneuver. The best case maneuver? No, the best case situation for John. As I'm wondering if Lara is gonna go for the maneuver there. On the outside, nope, but both drivers really catching up on John. CrashVettel going deep into turn 3 already. Lara still touching him on the rear there. Are we gonna see a repeat of that? Yeah, but with Milan on Liar, not the other way around. So I wonder if that's... Yeah, if that's just because Vettel is on these mediums, he just can't brake as late. He tries it, but slows down too much then, as Milan and Lyra are still fighting there. Lyra made his way past, sorry, Lyra got passed by Milan. As we see here, Dane, Lyra and Milan still in that little pack. CrashVettel is actually getting closer to John, you can just see on top of the hill. And John got it a little bit wrong. That opens up the opportunity for CrashVettel to make a move to have a little look down to the inside then in turn 4. John is defending very hard, swooping back to the inside there. And this is CrashVettel now out of the track there, outside. And Milan is actually past there as well. It's really exciting to watch, isn't it? It's incredible stuff going on here. Lead is changing like every few laps. First we had Fraser, who's now got a pretty big nightmare there. Only down in P7. Certainly not how he wished the race to go. Thomas also pretty nice qualifying, but down to P16 after disconnecting. Lyra now gets it wrong over that sausage curb, as I said earlier. That puts Dane now into P3 again after the pit stops. If only the Grand Prix on Sunday in a week will be this exciting, I'll be throwing a party, man. Alright, I'm back now from drinking and hitting the wrong buttons. We had Flat Red getting really close to CrashVettel there again. Because I think CrashVettel must have made an overtake, as Flat Red gets it very far, gets it very wrong outside of the track there. Dane surely looking and improving his positions. Not when he loses the rear like that, though. I don't think there's gonna be a move there up the hill, except for Flat Red and CrashVettel. They are still fighting, just little bits of contact there, Flat. Going into the rear of Vettel there. Now on top of the hill. Flat Red staying on the outside, trying to go for a move to the inside, but can't get on the power that early. John now made a move on Milan again. They're still so very close there, as we get a, well, quite a cinematic but crap camera angle for commentating. Milan is extremely close to John again. Of course, so is Dane to Milan. And that is extreme close stuff here, I can't stop saying it, really. Both going cleanly through turn 1, though Milan is outside the track just a little. There we go, John to the outside defending. Milan is trying to dive it. Gets a little push from Dane as well. John gets the better exit though, being on the outside. Milan still on the inside there, got back in the DRS zone as Dane just loses the rear end of his car very slightly, and Milan has done it where John did it just a lap before. And we've got just 5 laps to go in this Grand Prix, and if these guys keep on fighting like that, I wonder if CrashVettel won't have a chance at getting a win here anyways. If they, well, first of all, start crashing each other out, which I don't hope will happen. But more important, the tire wear. They are on 10 laps old tires at this point here. I know these tires can hold up for 12, 13 laps, but seeing as there's gonna be 5 more laps to go, CrashVettel shows how much traction he's gonna get. By trying to overtake Laya at least. Getting a better exit though still. Laya with the DRS makes his way past as John, I don't wanna forget that, is in P1 again. With this time the Mercedes of Dane between John and Milan, who've been fighting for a few laps now. So I would say anybody in the top 6 is really in for this win, or at least a podium. Could go very, very quick. But we are on board with Dane. Very far on the outside, as we've seen him usually do there. Getting a really nice toe. Up the hill, into the braking zone. Milan's not gonna go for a double dive bomb. Not this time. And Dane is past John there. Up into P1 now. Is he able to put a few seconds between him and John so he gets out of DRS? As we now got CrashVettel back up into P4. There's been a little bit of contact between him and Laya there. These two have been fighting quite a lot and just a little bit unclean, I guess. Little bits of contact. That's just what happens in online racing sometimes. We wish it wouldn't be like that, but no guarantees there. And you can see Laya's getting huge amounts of understeer. Is there a little bit of front wing damage? It surely didn't look like it. I can just see the top 3 in the distance. CrashVettel in P4. And of course, we haven't even talked about any penalties yet. So if the top 3 have some penalties, that could even promote somebody outside the top 3 into a potential race winning spot there. But Dane the Dangerous now holding on to his first place, at least for now. Going down into P4. John is on the outside. Can he go for a switchback move to the inside? No, he doesn't get the better exit there. And Dane keeps it in front. It's just gonna be 2 more laps. Well, 2.5 more laps. As we have, of course, these other 3 drivers, Laya, CrashVettel and Flood Red, being in a similar fight, just for a little bit less points. Like the top 3 there. There you see CrashVettel got past Laya there. And in front, we're just gonna see very close racing between Milan, John and Dane the Dangerous. John got very close, even gave Dane a little touch there probably. And look how close these guys are. Is Milan gonna be able to get a move on John there? When's it gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? And Laya probably outbraked himself into turn 4, disconnects from the session. That's mega disappointing for him. That is now CrashVettel's best friend gone. He's got at least a little bit more safe P4 then. And there we see them for the second to last time coming through the final few turns. Is there gonna be anything crazy going on? Certainly not hope so. Everybody's looking for a good exit there. And it seems like everybody got a pretty nice exit as well. Hey, kinda welcome for the last lap here of the Australian Grand Prix in the Delta Motor Racing Feeder Series round 4. It's on the edge between the top 3 here. Is there gonna be anything crazy going on? I think everybody's just a little bit too far away from each other. And now if we just have a look, not at the tires, but at how many positions these guys have made over the race, we can see Dane the Dangerous, who's just now leading and defending hard against John, trying to hold on to P1. That would have been a last to first effort here, as he just gets a tiny shove from John. It's not gonna be enough though. Are there any penalties to speak of? Dane crosses in P1, John in P2, but gets demoted to P3, as he certainly got some penalties there. CrashVettel P5 only after he gets demoted. Flat Red in P4 there. Fraser with a little bit disappointing P6 after a qualifying performance that he has shown. There's Tush coming through P8, certainly a win for him. Shriver though, because of the penalties, gets promoted P8. He would have hoped for a little bit better race, I imagine. Tombermans in the Ferrari, still getting a point. Nice for him there as well. Jansa P11, big summer blowout. In P12 as he got, or P13 even, as he had that little collision with the Weasel. Yeah, he started last because he didn't connect in time, I guess. So he didn't take part in qualifying, he joined in between. I don't know why. But here we can see the podium. We've got Dane with a brilliant effort, last to first. Incredible show from him. Milan in P2 drove a pretty clean race all the race long. And then of course John P3. All three guys being very clean this race. And that was an awesome effort for all of these guys. There we can see it. Everybody basically getting penalties, apart from the race leader and Thomas Jensen, who finished only 2 laps behind. Yeah, he disconnected halfway through, so no wonder. But look at all these warnings for everyone. Welcome, Big Summer Blowout here. Great sportsmanship. Coming in chat and apologizing. It's surely pretty much appreciated here. But that was intense, and whilst we're now having the session ending, we could just enjoy this little moment that we had here between Milan, Fraser and CrashVettel, where Fraser just bugs behind, just a little bit of lag, I guess. There we have Milan just making up places, or trying to make up places, diving it to the inside, overtaking 2 cars, pushing CrashVettel just a little bit wide. Opens up the opportunity to Fraser to come back at him. I don't know, I showed it twice already, I think, that replay. And Fraser defending P1 there. What a crazy race, guys. And it's gone over so fast, it was just an hour. As I hit completely the wrong button, sorry for that, lol. We're just back here. So, holy damn, if you guys are just joining in, Race Milan, welcome. If you're just joining in, coming from the race, you have to rewatch it. It was battles on battles and battles. Bondrax, thank you very much for following, very much appreciated. But this, wow. Dane, welcome to chat. Yeah, whoa, what a race that was. Your pace was on fire, man. Just completely on fire. Yeah, Vito, I think everyone out of the top 6 could have won at one point. But yeah, certainly John could have won. Just like probably Milan, Fladred even. Wow. Incredible stuff. That was really incredible.